Thank you. I would like to acknowledge the Kadigal people of Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of the land, and pay my respect to the elders, both past and present, and imagine and extend their respect to other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders who are present today. Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Minister for Petroleum, Honorable Karenga Kua, fellow ministers and members of Parliament, senior executives and management and employees of petroleum and mining, heads senior management and officers of the government departments and institutions, senior executives, management of service providers and stakeholders. I'm grateful for this invitation, and I'm happy to be here to speak to you about the recent developments in the mineral exploration, mining industry, and more so with policy aspects of the sector in line with my assigned topic, PNG Mining Industry Outlook. My speech will entail a brief status of exploration and mining today and provide a synthesis of mining outlook in Papua New Guinea. I will point out the challenges in the mining sector and offer our proposed interventions through geoscientific research, new policies and legislations. It is my intention to encourage potential investors with us here today to embrace Papua New Guinea as a preferred investment destination for the industry. As the Minister for Mining, I also wish to offer my utmost assurance that all the permitting and regulatory processes are carried out efficiently in a transparent manner, and decision turnaround time are executed swiftly within reasonable time. The government has recognized the importance and the country's heavy reliance on the mining and petroleum sector or the extractive industries since 1972 prior to independence. This government, while supporting the extractive industry, is also adamant to update paradigm shift from its unsustainable economic dependence onto the sustainable economy built upon agriculture, livestock, and tourism. The extractive industry, metal, oil, and gas, has always accounted for more than 90% of the total export revenue of PNG. The extractive industry's critical role in supporting skills development, wage income tax, employment opportunities, and community projects are recognized and highly appreciated by the government. Mining sector in PNG. Mining is a mature sector in Papua New Guinea dating back to 1852, when gold flakes were first sighted in the Motuan clay pots, to alluvial mining, then to large-scale hard rock mining, which commenced at Panguna Mine, Bougainville in 1972. Currently, PNG hosts 4 world-class mines, 3 medium-scale and 3 small-scale mines, and several alluvial gold fields across the country. The major mines include 2 large-scale world-class silver mines at Pogera and Lihia, which produce gold and silver doré bars. We have Oktedi, which produces copper gold concentrates, and nickel cobalt chromite mine at Ramu, which produces nickel cobalt hydroxide products. Pogera has been shut down since 2020, and the mine will resume from the latest report by next week. Over the last 5 years, the average annual metal production has been 1.7 million ounces of gold, 2.4 million ounces of silver as Dory bar, 84,500 tons of copper as concentrate, 33,500 tons of nickel, 3,000 tons of cobalt, and 123 tons of chromite concentrate. These products have earned an average of 13 billion over the last 5 years and 9 billion to date in 2023. These export revenues account for about 44% of PNG's total annual export revenue. The total export revenue peaked at 15 billion in 2020 and decreased to 13 billion due to the closure of Porgera mine. The value of export revenue from mining sector is comparable to hydrocarbon since the first export of liquefied natural gas in 2014. The extractive industry continues to account for 90% of PNG's total export revenue. Ladies and gentlemen, the robust export revenue has been achieved from the mining operations through shared values of maintaining high safety standards by operators and regulators. Fatalities and permanently incapacitated injuries over the last 13 years had been reduced from 10 incidents per annum to 0 in 2017, and thereafter averaged about 1 per annum. Last year there were 0 fatalities. Unfortunately, three of them occurred in this year, 2023. These records, especially the period of 0 fatalities, are unmatched by many mining jurisdictions. Despite hosting some of the largest and complex mines in the world, situated within unstable, active settings, we have kept our mines exceptionally safe. Employment. In 2021, the mines employed more than 19,000 employees and rose to over 20,000 in 2022. More than 10% are female employees. Further increase is expected with the reopening of Porgera and construction of Wafi and Frida. This excludes the number of small-scale gold miners, which may exceed 80,000 plus, which contributes to an annual average export revenue of 500 million. Currently, we are processing more than 40 billion worth of new capital investments in mining projects and about 10 billion investment on sustaining capex on existing mines. 2 prominent projects worth over a total of 10 billion of potential new capital investments are Wafu Gofi and the Frida River, which is 6 billion. Wafu is $5.8 billion and Frida River is $6 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, mine extension, expansion, and rehabilitation projects. I want to announce that the extension application for Oktedi Mine Special Mining List has been granted on the 4th of December 2023 by the head of state for another 20 years, which will run from 2022. I'm also pleased to advise that the special mining lease and 15 ancillary tenements for New Porgera Mine were granted by the state on the 13th October 2023 for a 20-year term. Consent compensation agreements required to open the mine have been formally concluded, except two. The consent agreements for the New Porgera Mine was further strengthened by the amendment to the Mining Act on 30th November 2023. That is the Mining New Porgera Amendment Act, which forced everybody into line and made it possible for us to open the mine next week. Once the remaining two compensation agreements are signed, the mine, of course, will have no problems when it is open. We expect those two to be signed next week as well. The community development agreement is at the advanced stage, and we anticipate being finalized the first quarter of next year. On the Wafi-Gofu permitting, the permitting of the development of the Wafi-Gofu projects is a very advanced stage, pending the conclusion of the mining development contract. Negotiations for the community development agreement has commenced. We expect permitting of the special mining lease construction. We expect permitting of the special mining lease by first 2 or 3 months in 2024. Construction period may take up to 5 years before commissioning. Frida River permitting, the permitting of $6 billion Frida River copper project will receive full attention by the state in the first quarter of next year. In recent times, the project has attracted keen interest from many reputable investment communities. We expect permitting of Frida River project by the first quarter of next year. K92 mine expansion program. The mine is an expanding mineral producing asset. Stage 2A expansion final commissioning was completed in May 2023, which increased throughput by about 20%. Stage 3 expansion currently underway is expected to achieve Tier 1 production of 290,000 ounces of gold equivalent per annum by early 2025. Stage 4 expansion intends to achieve 470,000 ounces gold equivalent production per annum by 2026, which will match the gold production output for Porgera Mine. Nickel cobalt mine is contemplating an expansion program. If the proposal is implemented, the mine will double its annual metal production output. I'm also informed that the arrangement for refining and smelting of the nickel products are being contemplated. Tolukuma Minerals rehabilitation. I welcome our homegrown company, Tolu Mines, which has been successfully listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. 11 million Australian dollars secured in a private IPO, and another 17.7 million was secured recently. Preparation for the construction of the mine access road and rehabilitation of the all mine facilities has commenced. Tolu Minerals has also pledged very strong commitment to airborne geophysical survey and drilling programs over their tenements. Mineral production outlook. PNG expects strong total annual copper production, which may average between 500,000 tons to a maximum of 700,000 tons per annum for a period of more than 30 years after Wafi, Golfu, and Frida River projects are commissioned as operating mines. These mega projects will take up to 7 years for construction, and hopefully by 2030, these projects may become operating mines in addition to Oktedi and possibly Kainantu. Indeed, PNG will become a significant copper producer for critical minerals in the globe, possibly for over a period of 3 decades. Gold production. Gold production for PNG has dropped from over 2 million ounces to about 1.7 million since closure of Porgera mine. PNG's total annual gold production may average around 2.7 million ounces with the reopening of the Porgera mine and stage 4 expansion of Kainantu mine by year 2026. The largest gold producer is Lihir mine, which may close by about 2050. However, K92, Wafi, and Frida River may substitute for any decline in production. Nickel and cobalt. Nickel and cobalt production outputs may double or triple up to 90,000 and 9,000 per annum respectively if Ramu MCC proposal to double its production output and the Mambare of Oro production, Oro nickel, is brought into operation. PNG will benefit immensely from the increased metal market size and increased metal prices forecast for the next decade. Reliable analysis are forecasting the global mining metal markets size growing at a compound annual growth rate of 4.8% during the next decade. Furthermore, metal prices are forecasted to triple and possibly quadruple over the next decade for copper, gold, nickel, and cobalt, which will remain the principal metal commodity export from PNG. Potential close of mines and depletion of mineral resources. At the same time, it is worth noting that the potential end of mine life for existing major mines in PNG gold mines by about mid-2050s and copper mines by mid-2060. In a nutshell, Eden Valley may close in 2027, followed by Simbari in 2030, Oktedi, Porgera, Ramu possibly close by around 2040, then Lihir by about 2055, Frida River and Wafi may close around 2065. Mineral exploration, I fully appreciate and commend the efforts of private sector mining and exploration for sustaining many years of highly risky investment in mineral prospecting and exploration. I also recognize a notable decline in the exploration expenditure since 2015 and continued after the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019. As of October 2023, the total exploration tenements on MRI register stands at 200 exploration licenses, and exploration expenditure continues to dwindle. Ladies and gentlemen, government strategies in response to address the depleting mineral resource inventories and decline in exploration activities. Considering the potential closure of all major mines by 2016 and the decline in exploration activities over the last 5 years, 2 major intervention programs were initiated by the government. A, investment in research for new mineral deposits, investment in diversification into growing the renewable economic sector, investment in research for new mineral deposits in new frontiers. In our efforts to excite exploration and discovery for new mineral deposits to sustain mining industry in PNG, the MRA has commenced identification of gaps in the National Geoscientific Dataset. The MRA is in the process of designing and implementing a national works program to cover gaps in specific areas of national interest. More importantly, they will perform research and exploration for strategic minerals to meet global demands required for transition energy and to deep-seated ore bodies, in particular conceptual porphyry, copper, gold targets. My MD will make some sense of these words. He will be speaking later on today. Ladies and gentlemen, investment in diversification into growing the renewable economic sector. The government recognizes the imbalance of the heavy reliance on the extractive industries for export revenue, which are unsustainable economic base. Thus, the government has initiated a program shift towards fostering the growth of sustainable economic sector in agriculture, livestock, cash crop, tourism, and marine to offset the imbalance and build a sustainable and resilient economic base for PNG from which revenue generated from extractive industries. Furthermore, the government will be seeking for improved revenues from the industry. This will require transparent and honest collaboration to ensure benefits to the nation are optimized. In recognition of the PNG mineral industry's immense contribution, the government has been very supportive of ensuring policies and legislation do not upset the industry. Instead, any changes will strive to ensure the mineral industry is secure, operates safely, and emanate greater benefits for every stakeholder. The government has declared COVID for the next Mining Act bill to be introduced after 50th independent anniversary. However, another school of thought is to introduce minor amendments to fill gaps in the law, such as introducing sections on tendering of mineral assets, downstream processing, community development, and benefit. Thank you. The Mine and Work Safety Health Bill 2021 is at its final stage of consultations with the industry. The government is committed to ensure that this critical bill for the industry is enacted in Parliament by next year. New policies, downstream processing of minerals. In general alignment with the government's call to encourage downstream of raw materials, we will be embarking on policies that aim to encourage or even enforce the downstreaming process of minerals, with the forecasted high copper and nickel cobalt production. We believe establishment of copper and nickel refineries in the country may be justifiable. Encouraging research, exploration, and development and offshore mineral resources. We are of the firm view that when onshore mineral resources are depleted, the next destination will be offshore. As such, we must prepare to encourage ventures that deploy smart technologies that protect and minimize environmental impacts while harvesting potential resources from the ocean or below the ocean. Let me assure you that under my watchful eye, I will ensure any new policy or legislation that affects the wider stakeholders in the mining fraternity are subjected to prior awareness and consultations. Ladies and gentlemen, Papua New Guinea is still the best mining destination. We remain the best mining address in the globe due to its favorable geological settings, highly prolific for minerals, exemplified by best discoveries, world-class mines and deposits, and the ability to host major global mining projects. The presence of major players is a testament to the confidence of doing business in Papua New Guinea. To name a few, Newmont, MCC, Barrick, Zinc, Harmony, and Rio Tinto. We are also proud to host many successful junior players operating in PNG. Notably, junior miner worth mentioning is the K92 mine, which won the special prestigious Prospectors Development Association of Canada, and the best discovery in the world from its Kora North deposits and K92 gold mine. For brevity, may I highlight some of the commitments by the major players in recent times. Newmont. On behalf of the government, I joined the Prime Minister, Honorable James Marape, to welcome Newmont Corporation to Papua New Guinea and commend Newmont's President and Chief Executive Officer, Tom Palmer, for his strong commitments to build strong and mutually beneficial partnerships with the government and people of Papua New Guinea. To generate lasting shared value and meaningful economic development through the world-class Leah Gold Mine and Wafi-Golfu Gold and Copper Project. After the successful acquisition of Newcrest on November 23, 6 November 21, Newmont has already undertaken the following. Newmont Corporation commenced trading on the PNGX market on Friday, October 27, 23. Newmont Corporation became the first company to list on a PNGX with depository interest. To establish dedicated business unit in PNG and appointed Mr. Alwyn Pistorius, who has assumed the role of managing director, and his port must be based, and a commitment for strong commitments to build Wafi-Golfu project and maintain Tier 1 asset at Lihia Gold Mine. Barrick, we are also pleased with the deal concluded for the new Porgera mine with Barrick. They continue to remain in PNG with Zinc Group as our partner and operator of the Porgera mine. Barrick Gold and Zinc have a combined market capitalization of over $80 billion. China, MCC. MCC continue to operate and invest in the world-class Ramu nickel cobalt mine. MCC merged into China Metals, becoming its wholly owned subsidiary. In 2021, China Min Metals Corp was ranked the second top mining company by revenue of 131 billion in China. Harmony Gold Mine Company Limited, we are also proud to have the partnership of Harmony of South Africa, who have demonstrated commitment and resilience in operating one of the challenging and marginally profitable mine, Hidden Valley. Their strong commitment as a partner in Wafi-Golfu is another salutation of the confidence in PNG mining jurisdiction. Ladies and gentlemen, geologically, PNG undoubtedly is still the main mining address in the globe. The MRA has recognized some of the shortfalls or gaps in the baseline geoscientific database and has initiated work to attract new waves of investment in the country. Earlier this year, the MRA has secured collaboration with the U.S. State Department of Energy, external academia, and research, which will provide new potential data for mineral exploration. In conclusion, the mining sector has not lost its flamboyancy and vibrancy. It kept this country afloat since independence, and it is this government's objective to make it more robust, more economically viable, more sustainable, and enable equal benefits for the citizens of Papua New Guinea and shareholders of our mining companies and their investors. There is a call for us in the mining sector to adapt and respond to changes in social behavior, community expectations, environment, climate change, and political environment, as highlighted by the esteemed speakers of this conference before me. The government acknowledges the importance of the mining sector. Your role in supporting growth and diversification of economic development in PNG can never be overemphasized. In closing, let me thank these conference organizers for giving me these opportunities to speak. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas, and wish you a Happy New Year.